A committee will be formed to look into the withdrawal of the controversial Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Nagaland. That is what the Chief Minister of the state tweeted after a meeting with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah this afternoon. The Union Home Minister held a meeting to discuss the present scenario in Nagaland on the 23rd of December. The meeting was attended by the Nagaland Chief Minister, the Assam Chief Minister and others. In the meeting, it was decided that a committee will be instituted to look into the withdrawal of AFSPA in Nagaland. Let's go across to my colleague Ratnadeep, who has been monitoring this story. So Ratnadeep, we know that the demand of the withdrawal of the law, a very controversial law, it gives a wide range of powers to the army. That has been surging in the state over the last 2 weeks since we saw those 14 civilians killed in this blotched up operation by the army, and the violence that broke out after that. What is the reactions we're getting on the ground to this news coming in from the national capital that a panel will now look into this, into whether this can be withdrawn? Because really this has been an age-old law that governments, after governments actually, have strongly stood behind.
Well, in terms of the reactions from ground zero, we are yet to hear from the organizations which have spearheaded the movement this time. Remember, this time the movement started from the Oting village, which actually lost 12 young men in that firing. Remember, 12 out of those 14 men who died in the armed forces firing on 4th and 5th December are from Oting village. And then the Konyak Union, the apex body of the Konyak tribe who dominate that area, the ENPO, the larger body of the eastern Nagaland districts, where we saw maximum protests. So these groups were the groups who spearheaded the protests this time. We are yet to hear from them. We are also yet to hear from the larger Naga Society, NSF, and also the Northeast Students Association, which led the protests across Northeast. But what is important here, if you look at what this committee is going to do, is going to study and submit a report within 45 days. But essentially, if you look at the decisions taken, then the government of India is meeting some of the demands that were put forward, particularly by the people of Eastern Nagaland, but not all the demands. Now, essentially, the demand has been repeal of Armed Forces Special Power Act from Nagaland and across Northeast. That is the larger demand. But even bigger is the demand of justice for the 14 youths. And all this while, in this fortnight that this incident has taken place, we have run several reports, and every time we spoke to the protesting groups, they have they have been very straightforward in saying that, until and unless the armed forces Jawans who are involved in the operation are tried through normal, court, they don't feel that justice will happen. At this stage, it seems that center is okay with the court of inquiry which army has already instituted. Now, one development in this is that those army Jawans have been placed under suspension from immediate effect. Indian Army has also come up with a fresh statement saying that they once again regret what has happened, and they had asked the local people to cooperate, giving evidences. Now, whether people would be satisfied with this approach of center, remember there was also a very strong demand of Union Home Minister withdrawing his statement that he made in both houses of Parliament on 6th of December, because the locals had claimed that the information given in that, how the incident has taken place by the Union Home Minister was fabricated. Now, there is no word on that, whether locals would be satisfied or they would go forward with their protest. Remember, because there was a time frame given of 1 month to the state government in terms of meeting the demands which were placed by the Konyak Union. And particularly, and after that, there is a non-cooperation movement going on in that area with the armed forces. So whether all this will be withdrawn or not, what happens is we'll have to wait for the civil society to come and react. But not all the demands have been made. But there is a steady progress. At least center is becoming receptive to the voices of the people.
And perhaps more importantly, or very crucially, there is an outer time limit for this. The panel is to submit a report within 45 days. Thank you so much for that, Ratnadeep.